Hi aspirants, welcome to Edufy Institute. Today we are going to discuss on Indus Water Treaty topic. We all know that the Indus Water Treaty has taken a very particular step and the center of focus these days in every kind of media for Pahalgam condemnable attack by the terrorists. We understood the importance of these topics for our government point of view or government exams point of view. In this topic, we will try to learn the aspects, the importance of Indus water and the geographical aspect, its history, and what are the challenges that both nations can face. So, without any delay, let's start the video. Indus Water Treaty was the result of the Pakistan's government insecurity. It was signed in 1960s in between the President of Pakistan, Ayub Khan, and the Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. When this meeting was held for the treaty, the mediocre or the broker was World Bank. Let's dig a little bit about the history of this treaty. After the independence, Pakistan wanted to take our Jammu and Kashmir as their territory. As a result, we saw a war between Pakistan and India during 50s, 51. When this war happened, Pakistan was absolutely gained this mindset that we are never going to be a very friendly neighborhood. Inner side or in the bottom of their mindset, it was a great insecurity was actually taking birth in the Pakistan's government that 80% of Pakistan's water comes from or travels through India. And when we talk about this 80% of waters, then our focus goes into Indus water system. Indus is a very major river that flows through the Indian and Pakistan province. The origin of this river we will going to discuss if we will see the geographical aspect of these all Indus river systems. But let's understand why the insecurity was created in the Pakistan's government mindset. The Pakistan government mindset was very clear about the relation between India and Pakistan. So, as a result, from the very beginning, right after the 51st war, Pakistan was trying to have a bilateral meeting or treaty with India, but under the brokerage of World Bank. Why World Bank or IBRD, that is International Bank Reconstruction and Development? The situation of economic perspective with India was also not so well during that time. So Pakistani government already thought that if this brokerage is done by the World Bank or IBRD, it will be fruitful for Pakistan's legacy of future for the water. So after so many of trials and failed trials, World Bank agreed, plus World Bank also came inside the compositions of this particular treaty to make it happen between both nations. So during 1960s, finally we sat together and signed on this treaty. Let's find out what are the geographical aspects of Indus, then we can continue.
Yeah.
During the geographical aspect, if we try to understand the Indus waters are Tibet origin waters and directly enter in India, then Pakistan, and after Pakistan, they meet Arabian Sea, as we know. This Indus River comes out of the mountains called Kailash mountain range in the Tibet. Apart from this Kailash Indus, there are multiple Indian origin rivers who comes out of India itself. For example, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Satluj River. This is how the river system of Indus works. And entire water from the nation India, it enters in Pakistan Plus, we also know that, like India, Pakistan is no different in terms of GDP growth. They are also dependent on their agriculture sector for the development. And because of this, Pakistan wanted to have a particular treaty with all these rivers. So, if you remember with the Indus rivers, we have one Indus river and five of its territory, so tributary. So, in total, there are six rivers. Now, when the treaty was signed between India's Prime Minister and the President of Pakistan, so there were so many things missed from the treaty. But let's discuss what was actually there in those treaties in a short way. According to the Pakistan's will, Pakistan wanted the division, the partition of these six rivers. Therefore, as a result, the three rivers were given 80% control to the Pakistan, and the other three rivers were given the 80% or almost all the concerns or the powers to India. What are those rivers? Let's try to see. Number one, Indus. Let me change the color. Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab. These three rivers. And on other side, we have Ravi, Bias, and Sutlej. These three rivers. So these three rivers came under the control of Pakistan, and these three rivers came under the control of India. Remember, even though it was under the control of Pakistan, these three rivers were given 80% control to Pak and 20% control to India. Now, still there are some proper maintenance of that division of those 20% used by India. India cannot use for consumption purpose from these three rivers. It means consumptive projects cannot be held in these Pakistan dedicated rivers in IWT. So this was made sure in the treaty that India will not make any projects of consumption. For example, like agricultural irrigation. For example, like basic amenities used by the people of Kashmir or Jammu Kashmir or Leh Ladakh. All right, but dams were allowed to make. But that is also under the consideration that they should not be the major dams. So if you see the overall dam relation in these three rivers, Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, so India's Navratna company, that is NHPC, has made some dams on Chenab river from the initial state, like Salal project, Salal dam, all right, Chenab dam. So these dams together also, they are generating individual dams, they are generating 340 megawatt, 245 megawatt, meaning they are not exceeding the threshold of 500 or 600 megawatts project. It is under the Indus Water Treaty. And whatever rivers were given to the Pakistan were known as Western rivers in this treaty, and the rivers to India known as Eastern rivers. I hope it is understood. Now, when this were decided under the treaty, there were some conditions, including the eastern rivers and the western rivers under the treaty. What are those? Let's try to understand. First condition of the treaty was India will not block or do any such kind of projects which affects the flow of these rivers. Flow of these rivers. Meaning, if the dam is also made by India, then the flow of the river should not be disrupted. Okay? Otherwise, it will be considered as a breaching of the treaty. The next part of this Indus Water Treaty was this has created lot of panic in the Jammu Kashmir province and Leh Ladakh province of India. How? It has created less employment for the people of Jammu Kashmir, since they were not able to produce enough electricity to use it for industrialization process. So since industrialization was not taking place during that time, so the employment rate of this Jammu Kashmir was a big issue at that moment. These days, this Indus Water Treaty got suspended by India temporarily, remember guys. Why? Because of that Pahalgam terror attack. And we also have the evidence of that Pakistan sub inner agencies, involvement in that performing attack, terror attack. So that's why it is temporarily suspended. I hope you are getting the IWT in a better perspective. Now let's find out what was the main things who were missed out in this particular Indus Water Treaty. First of all, in this treaty, the thing which is criticized is that there is no concrete ideology of environmental protection, environmental protection with these rivers. In a normal way, in this treaty, it's been mentioned that environmental concerns will be the bilateral concerns. Both of the country will meet and talk on the bilateral relations, and they will do whatever it is need to do. So this is the greatest criticism of the treaty, that it doesn't have critical laws or rules for the protection of these 6 rivers of Indus water system. All right. So I would criticize in this way that it is an incomplete water treaty, who doesn't has involvement of water or environmental related concerns, and it is still unknown by both of the nations if any environmental concerns occur in these rivers, then who shall be doing its proper appropriate steps. Plus, let's discuss about the challenges. When we talk about the challenges we have on severe conditions. What are the challenges? The challenges are to make the rivers clean. It doesn't have any provision. Second, silt removal. Silt removal is one of the effective process to reduce the flood affected regions, to reduce the flood condition or disasters happening in some regions. Plus, there was some things mentioned in the treaty that is related to dispute. In case any dispute occurs on these rivers, then there will be a neutral body will be constructed by both of bilateral talks, and the dispute will be resolved according to the treaty. All right. So these are the crucial points that are related with the Indus Water Treaty. Aspirants, if you can see, if you can follow the slides, so these are the things. The slides will be available in our link, so you can also have the access through the link. In case if you want to have a review on these type of topics, you can easily and open to contact us. So these are the basic important slides. All right. So I have mentioned it in a very easy and clear way. I hope it is already clear with the students, and for the perspective of exam, let's try to discuss that. In preliminary point of view, the question may ask in the form of direct, especially when it is about the State Public Service Commission or SSC exams. For example, when Indus Water Treaty was signed, when Indus Water Treaty was formed between which nations, Indus Water Treaty is related to which rivers. This kind of questions with 4 options might come. But when we talk about the mains, in descriptive way, there might be some different nature of Indus Water Treaty. For example, the suspension of Indus Water Treaty will lead to the environmental damage or not. This kind of question might appear in the mains exams. But trust me, in this NPSC exams, this IWT is one of the major hot topic for you people. For any further information or details, you guys can contact us. Thanks for watching and learning the classes from this video.